Hi Sagittarius, I hope that you're all doing well. We are here with a timeless reading. The first card that we have out is Seven of Wands. We also have Five of Wands. Okay, with Seven of Wands and Five of Wands, this feels kind of like something that you may not want to get involved in. I feel like this is something that's going on, that's happening somewhere around you, and this feels like you on the outskirts of it, kind of being like, don't bring that to me, you know, like seeing this kind of transition and come over to you. You can be like not trying to get involved with that, or you can even be like ready if you have to be brought in, but you see how this person is sort of standing on the outside rather than like being in the middle of this. You can be sort of ready if you have to get involved in it. At the same time, you can be in a position where you're like, only if I have to. I'm ready if I have to, but only if I have to will I get involved in that. So, and with this Seven of Swords, it feels like being vigilant, like you're aware of what's going on, you're tuned into what's happening, and also being like, only by necessity will I get involved in that. But I'm not seeing you be checked out or anything or like avoiding. I'm seeing you be present to it. It just feels like there's some autonomy here within this. I get the sense that somebody that you are emotionally connected to or energetically connected to is involved in this. Waiting to see what's going to happen. Waiting to see what's going to happen, being present to it, but not becoming unnecessarily involved. This feels like one of those times where what you are taking away from this experience is recognizing how much to involve yourself / not involve yourself when something is going on, especially something hectic. That's the feeling that I get with the Five of Wands here. I'm also seeing Temperance, which I get this sense that this may actually be something where if you just remain where you are within this situation, I feel like things are going to somewhat resolve themselves. We have Temperance here, which means like you don't need to jump into this. It feels like allowing this to do what it needs to do. Like you just stay where you are, you stay doing what you're doing, but you don't need to get more involved. Until a point where you feel like that's necessary, but it just feels like keep doing what you're doing here within this. Which feels like observing what's happening and being ready if you have to get involved, but not getting involved unless you have to. Something here is being worked out. It feels like, yeah, something is being worked out. I do feel like this affects you. I feel like it is significant to you. At the same time, it feels like not your battle for the time being anyway. Like it feels like something that maybe like people close to you or people that you're connected with or somebody that you're connected with, they're involved in this and you're around. Because more than anything with the Seven of Wands, I see it very clearly that you are not, it's not like you know what's going on and you're dismissing it in some type of way. I'm seeing you be very present and aware, like consciously you're aware of what's happening, but you are not getting involved unnecessarily in this situation, which feels like a great position for you to be in. Not in a way where it's like, yeah, great spot for you, you're really taking advantage here, but more so like, why make the Five of Wands bigger and more hectic if you don't need to be? You're just sort of like on standby or on call if you need to get in there which you're ready for, which feels important because it shows you being present and supportive to the situation that's going on, but not making it worse. You know, like you're in a position that's a supportive position within this and ready if you need to step into this. I do get the sense of you being involved in this, but it feels like you're not one of the main characters in this situation, which I don't think you'd want to be in a situation like this anyway. But you're very close and you're very much seeing what's happening within this. I'm seeing stuff having to do with relationships being involved in this, which is not a surprise. Let me move this around a little bit. I'll pull 2 more cards. I get this feeling of somebody wanting to get you involved in something, but you can be in a spot where you're like, only if it's necessary am I going to be doing that. But I almost feel like something possibly tempting you and you watching what's going on, but also it seems like a safe distance observing this. I don't know why, but the Page of Cups is looking kind of suggestive to me. Okay, but you have boundaries, I'm seeing. I feel like you've been through situations like this before, so you have it's not your first rodeo by any means. So even though something can be coming in and is seeming like tempting possibly to get you to be involved, I feel like suggestive in some way. The Page of Cups is giving me that feeling. Like, aren't you tempted to get involved in this? But I'm seeing your energy actually be the Queen of Swords here. So I feel like you know what this is and you're not just going to, like, impulsively or, like, let your emotions really, like, lead you into something that logically you're like, that's not a good idea. I'm seeing you feel very level moving through this. Like, energetically, you're in a spot where I'm seeing you be extremely level-headed. I'm seeing you also be very deliberate too. I'm not seeing an impulsive energy. I'm not seeing you be pulled into something and later on be like, I should have grounded or I should have waited to do something about that. I'm seeing you, it feels very deliberate the way that you're moving through this and that you're observing what's happening. I'm seeing you be seeing things very clearly too. And just these things are falling more and more into place as well. There's a new chapter that's going to be starting. This is something that's going to feel quite significant, and I'd say too that you've been working for this as well. You can feel too like you're protecting what you've been working for, what's important to you, and not feeling like you need to impulsively become over involved in this situation. This feels like one of those things that it's gonna work itself out. Okay. This is the image that I'm seeing. I'm seeing somebody that's the Queen of Cups, which the Queen of Cups is not feeling like your energy in this. I feel like the Queen of Cups is somebody that you're connecting with. And I see them almost like throwing something out there to see if you'll bite the bait. The way that I'm seeing, it's Queen of Cups throwing the Page of Cups out there and seeing what you do about it. And I'm just seeing you observing what's going on, but not taking it, because it feels like there's some type of conflict, adversity, chaos, something hectic that would be involved if you sort of go in there. It feels like calculating the risk here, and you can be recognizing that and being like, okay, that's not going to draw me into the situation, but it can be something that was thrown out there to see if you'd bite. And then it's weird because I'm seeing this Queen of Cups do it in a way where it's like throwing something out there, seeing what you are going to do about it, and sitting there observing to be like, okay, are they going to go for it or not? That's what I'm observing happening here within this. So it's weird to see that, because it almost feels like the Queen of Cups is playing a little bit of a game here. It almost feels a little bit like trying to gauge a reaction from you to be able to learn something from this. And it has something to do with your relationship with them. But this can come about in some way where, like, I don't really get what exactly is happening between you and this person. And maybe you can feel like that too. Like something feels almost like it's not totally straightforward here. The guidance is for you to take your time and keep observing what's going on, and you don't need to take action until you get to a point where you feel like that's necessary. But for some of you in this situation, it may not be necessary at all. I'm seeing this be more so sit back and watch what's going on here. This isn't something that you need to involve yourself in unnecessarily. And I'm also seeing a new chapter that's opening up that's on your mind, and this feels like it's connected again with what you've been working towards. Queen of Cups and Page of Cups can be somebody that's like trying to advance upon you, and you can be like, I don't know about that. I feel like somebody's sort of showing up, like, I get you being on a hill and this person being on a hill, and they're like coming down into the common space, and like, or like sending a minion to go down into the common space, because it almost feels like it's not them that's doing it, but like sending something that's connected, which I don't understand like how exactly this would be working physically. Like, I don't know. I'm seeing like energetically how the situation is happening. I don't know physically what's transpiring. Like in 3D, I don't know how this is happening, but I'm seeing this person's energy. It's like you're on the hill, this person's on the hill, and they send something down into the common space where you could like go down there and interact with it. But at the same time, it's like they didn't themselves go into the common space. So I almost feel like this is a like, I'm showing that I'm doing this as a sign of like vulnerability, but it's actually not. That's what I get from this. It feels almost like a gesture that's being made, but it can be something that wouldn't disadvantage the person that's doing it. It wouldn't disadvantage the Queen of Cups here, and they're doing it more so to gauge your reaction than anything. It feels like one of those times where like, I don't want to say that it's not genuine, but I feel like it's more about sizing you up than anything in this situation. And seeing if you'll go for this. You know, actually what this reminds me of, it reminds me of being in a situation with somebody and they say something suggestively, and like if you'll go for it, then maybe they'll go for it, but if you don't, they'll be like, I'm just joking. It feels like one of those situations to me where it's going to be something like that, where it's like they're able to kind of save themselves and they're just throwing that out there to see what you're going to do about it. But having this Seven of Wands here, I'm seeing you be like, I'm not seeing you get unnecessarily involved in this situation. I'm seeing, if anything, you can feel actually kind of protective of your energy here, and you can be just watching what's going on. Like, I almost get the feeling of you being pulled in on something, like something's happening sort of in front of you, but I'm not seeing it something that feels like totally maybe mutual as far as this interaction that's going on here. It feels like something else to me. Because it's not even like you're just standing there observing. You have Seven of Wands there. So I'd say this is even something where like maybe you're almost like, I don't know, like maybe you're even leaning out a little bit from this. Definitely aware of what's going on. At the same time, that Seven of Wands does not feel like a welcoming energy. So you may not be feeling welcoming to this. What I'm seeing is that it looks like there's a new chapter that's starting, that there's something that's going on relationship-wise. I'm seeing Six of Pentacles and I'm seeing the Lovers, so this can be a very compatible relationship that this is connected with, that this new chapter is connected with. This feels like a very important next chapter that you are beginning, that things have been going in this direction. But yeah, for some of you even too, I'm wondering if you have like, you have a relationship and then you may have something else that's going on too. But it can be, Seven of Wands is not going to entertain something that you don't want to entertain. So it feels like this is appropriate for this situation. Anything else? I feel like that about covers it. I feel too, once again, that this is saying you do not need to jump into action with this. Just keep watching what's happening. All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.